Everyone, this is Marjan from Pakistan, and you're watching my YouTube channel Insan Itihad, which aims to invoke a little bit of humanity in all of us through awareness and understanding in regards to different social, religious, and political issues. So I actually had said and promised that I would upload a video in regards to how are women treated, or what is the role of women in Judaism. But unfortunately, for some personal reasons, and I was a bit busy too, so I could not. It's almost always I say that I will upload a video tomorrow, and I never do. But anyways, we're preparing for Pesach, Passover also. So everyone's just so busy. Anyway, so this video is regarding how Judaism sees women or depicts women. Starting off, I would like to say that in the Torah, the first chapter, Bereshit, Hashem mentions that Hashem created the entire universe, so on, and the order of creation. And then initially, Hashem created Adam because Hashem didn't want it to be alone in this whole, you know, what can we say? This whole nothingness. So he created the soul of Adam and Eve together, and then made Adam in flesh and blood through clay or with dust. And it was Adam who had all the feminine and the masculine soul inside of him. And then Bereshit says that Hashem put Adam into a deep sleep, and while Adam was asleep, Hashem pulled out his rib and created Eve out of him, actually. This sometimes is misrepresented, misunderstood, largely so I would say in the Islamic context, and also in the Christian context, where women are seen as the subservient of Adam and or men, and secondary to men. Whereas in regards to Judaism, as far as I have listened to the rabbis so far, that is Rabbi Y.Y. Jacobson, Rabbi Manis Friedman, Rabbi Simon Jacobson, Rabbi David Solomon, many other rabbis who are Hasidic rabbis, who are associated with Chabad also, some of the rabbis who are very orthodox rabbis. I have listened to them, and I've heard them also explain this in this way. So I won't be able to quote all of these rabbis' videos or references, but I would definitely quote this one very recent talk of Rabbi Manis Friedman, which is on a very great show. It's called JTV. I think it has tremendous following. This young man, this guy, the Oliver Anisfield, I think. Yeah, Oliver Anisfield. He is amazing. He's doing amazing work with his JTV initiatives. Have invited so many profound rabbis and activists and people of known to talk about Judaism, interfaith relationship or whatever. Amazing work. So all the best to Oliver Anisfield, such a amazing soul. Good luck to him, and if I don't think he would be watching, but brother, you're just like my younger brother, all the best of luck to you, to all the other people doing so much of a great work in regards to Jewish education and Jewish theological awareness, and also regarding Israel. So all the best to you, brother Oliver, and also to Hananya and all those other brother, good luck. So yeah, and I will definitely, and then you will hear Rabbi Manis Friedman talk about it. Also, Rabbi Manis Friedman's another video. It is regarding what is a woman. So you can see both of these in that regard. But I will tell you about what I think about how Judaism portrays and defines women. So Hashem actually saw that Adam was alone and lost and confused and a bit emotional. So Hashem thought that he won't be able to get this closeness and relationship with me as long as he will not have a mate with him. So not only Adam was feeling alone, but he was also sort of neglecting or subduing the feminine soul inside of him. So Hashem decided that he would separate the masculine and feminine soul, which was together in Adam, and then create from his flesh and bone Hava. And there is a very thought out reason behind it, because when Hava chose to eat from the from the tree of knowledge, the fruit of tree of the knowledge, uh, being very guilty and emotional, and being defensive as of, and out of this sheer fear from God, Adam immediately said, "It was not me, it was Chava who made me eat this fruit." So we need to understand that the relationship between Adam and Hashem is very, very respectful. It has a bit of fear, it has a bit of respect to it. On the other hand, Eve is very direct with Hashem. So the women, the feminine energy is very, very, direct with Hashem. Even we see that, women don't have to go through a certain protocol, wash their hands, do all those, wear all those garments, or prepare themselves, put them into a very decent space, a decent outlook, then to pray, just like men do in Jewish prayer, before doing Jewish prayer. Women are very direct, and we notice that how Sarah speaks to Hashem in regard to how she feels about Hagar, and the jealousy, and then she doesn't want Ishmael to be an influence on Isaac, and she sort of says that this boy has to go out. So the relationship between Hashem and the feminine in the Jewish theology is very direct. We communicate to Hashem, like a daily conversational thing. Hashem is very much accessible to women, as compared to Jewish men who have to wash themselves, wear a certain clothes, and then start their praying, or the 3 prayers that Jewish men do, or read Torah. Women are very direct. They have a conversational relationship. Of course, we can see Moshe also have this conversational relationship with Hashem, but nevertheless, it's the women who have this very direct relation. And before giving the Torah to the men, it was actually it is actually recorded and interpreted by the Chazal, the rabbis, that Hashem actually asked the Jewish women that do they agree that the Torah should be given to men, and are they on board with this whole thing? And they did agree. So the mitzvot are also very, either feminine or masculine. And the reason for that is that due to the nature of what women are and what men are, and what the feminine, energy represents, and what the masculine energy represent. So women are the influencer, as to speak. They are more, good in their intellect, because Eve, Chava, women ate the fruit of tree of the knowledge first, then Adam. So they are much more. They get mature before the men. So the bat mitzvah is at. So that's why the bat mitzvah is at 1 year earlier than the bar mitzvah. Bar mitzvah is for young boys who enter into adulthood and become the adult practicing, so to speak, Jews, or start to have more awareness. So the puberty age also, you can say it's counted as 12 for girls and 13 for the boys. And therefore the women are much more mature and emotionally stable, and the reason for that is that Hashem wanted a certain amount of influencing power for Adam to be much more calmer and much more mature when seeing things. Sorry. So and Adam is much more action oriented. So women are more, mature. So they're more conversational. They analyze, evaluate, and do. Men actually learn through practice and action. So mitzvot are more like action oriented. You need to pray. You need to do this and that. Women's mitzvot are very very internal, and they're like influencing in a subtle way, lighting the Shabbat candles, maintaining the kosher home and kosher pantry, kosher food, which is what which goes into your system. Kosher food goes into your system. Kosher living or lifestyle or household is much more internalized aspect, whether men are more external aspect of actually fixing the world. Also, women have the influencing power over men. On the other hand, men actually practically affect women with their actions or words or their behavior. Women actually influence the men through their talk or their action or whatever. So they influence the men, but they don't actually compel them to actually have that. They can only influence them, so they can act upon or act under that influence, whether it's positive or negative, we're not talking about. But so women are influencers, but men are actually effectors, because they are actually doing something or saying in a way, spreading the word of Torah to women and to the world. So they're actually affecting the world and women especially. Then again, Rabbi Manis Friedman also, in the video that I will share, is saying that the women are receiver and the men are giver in all means and all. But it can also be two ways, but more so women are the receivers. In my personal opinion, women not only are the receivers, but they multiply what they receive and then give back to the world or give back to their male counterparts. So if a man gives a woman lots of love and lot of respect, she will multiply that love and respect and return back to the men. So, and then Torah also says that it is not good for a man to be alone. It does not say that it is not good for the woman to be alone. So in that sense, Judaism actually places this responsibility, or this what you can say, that a man is incomplete without a woman. So he mustn't be alone. He should try to reach out and find his mate, his soul mate, not mate as in sexual mate, but his soul mate. And and make sure that he is with her, so that he can fix this world, and can know himself and Hashem, and make this connection with Hashem when he is along with his soulmate. So women are basically at a center stage in Judaism. They are not just this sexual sexual companion, which can which is there in a man's life to provide for pleasure or whatever, but it is much more of a spiritual connection. It is the completion of the being or the existence of the man in that sense. In Judaism, a man is incomplete without a woman, and woman is a very crucial part in their life. In fact, when the rabbi, the Lubavitcher Rabbi, Rabbi Menachem Schneerson, his wife passed away. So when he was sitting with Shiva, that is, observing the 1 year period to or 40-day period where you have to sit you have to sit Shiva. His friend or his colleague, one of his, and this incident was actually, this story was actually shared in a class by Rabbi Jacobson. So he said that one of his colleagues suggested that it's not good for a rabbi to be alone and he should remarry. Although the rabbi didn't get remarried, because the connection that you have with your soulmate is just so strong that it's just irreplaceable. Yes, you can get married to a woman who is not your soulmate, and once she passed away, you still miss that space which can only be fulfilled by your soulmate. We see this again in with Yaakov when he got married to Leah. He could have just said, okay, fine, I was tricked, my beloved Rachel tricked me, her father tricked me, but I got married, so she's not that bad of a woman, she's very pious, Leah, so I'll just have her and then that's it. But he insisted on marrying Rachel because she was actually his soulmate. Leah was his wife, and that's why, and Yaakov also tells us the sanctity of marriage, that even if you get married by mistake, you end up under a chuppah, you end up actually marrying a woman, you can't just throw her out that, okay, I was cheated and this. Yaakov and Leah actually are the symbol of how the marriage should be respectfully treated, and no matter in which circumstances you have been married, you have to live by that, because after all, it's Hashem who makes these couples, who makes actually marriages, especially Jewish marriages. Actually, all marriages, I'm being a little biased here. So all marriages are actually fixed by Hashem. So it is not good to take, marriage slightly or lightly. So this is actually taught to us by Yaakov. So Leah was definitely Yaakov's very respectful and loving wife, but his soulmate was Rachel. Of course, this is my opinion, not the rabbi's opinion. Please don't quote me. And then we see David HaMalachi. I mean, he had a lot of concubines and a lot of wives, but the moment he meets Bathsheba, who was also a married woman, so she was not a virgin young woman that David just fell in love instantly. The feeling that the feeling David Malachi had for Bathsheba was actually a divine connection. Actually, she, in my opinion, also this is my opinion, Bathsheba, I feel, was David al-Malachi's soulmate. Why I say this is because he had other wives and he had sons from other wives also who were older, but he passed on his kingship to Solomon, who was the firstborn of Bathsheba. And then he wrote the most romantic song, the Song of Songs, for actually Bathsheba. So that's how I think and I understand that his connection with Bathsheba was actually a soulmate connection. So in this regard, and also if we see the Jewish tradition, we see that the men are given a lot of responsibility and they have this sense of divinity and the presence of God and acknowledge God and are the Sadiqim. But in the household, it's the women who actually make the most of the major decisions in the Jewish history and Jewish theology, whether it is the decision of Sarah to have Abraham married to Hagar, and then she was the one who made the decision that Hagar and Ishmael has to go. And then again, when we see Rebecca is so insisting on her favorable son getting the blessing and the birthright, and making sure that this happened, despite the fact that her husband Isaac is more inclined towards Esau. And we see it throughout Jewish women being at the leadership role, whether that is Deborah, who actually influenced the king at that time to go on a war. Otherwise, she would go to war. She was a judge who had a great knowledge and wisdom of Torah, and she used to settle disputes among the Jewish people. So it was not just the Bedouins and the rabbis, but a woman too, and she was a well-respected woman of her time. We know that Queen Esther saved the Jewish people in Babylon. And again, it was Sephora who encouraged her husband to go get his people if Hashem actually wanted him to do this. And before that, Maryam, his sister, Moshe's sister Maryam, she was a big influencer on her father to not divorce their mother. And then, then you see a lot of women playing major role in Jewish, Jewish tradition, Jewish theology. They're very, very significant in this regard. There is this book of Ruth. Ruth was actually a Gentile. Actually, the majority of the biblical women were not actually Jewish per se. So it's the women being this in Judaism, women are not this full of sin, less than men. They are out there making decisions, influencing the Jewish men to do the right thing. Their connection with Hashem is more direct. Rabbi Manis Friedman, in fact, in this video that I will put in the description box, says that women are more complete and men are not entirely complete. So they have to complete themselves when they will meet their soulmate, just like Adam is incomplete without Chava, because Chava is part of him. She came and she was born out of him. And I probably think that when Adam would have said that it was Chava who made me eat the fruit, Hashem probably would have said, yeah, but she came out of you. I can't just make you another mate or wife, because this is the only wife you're gonna get. She actually came out of you. She is part of you. She is you. So it's it is stressed on women that it is stressed on men to have women, to have wives, because it will complete them. It is not set to, or it's not made compulsory for the women to do, to find their, soulmates and be married, but rather on men, so that, women should have this dignity that they they have to be pursued, and they are important enough that, if they will not marry their soulmate, it will be difficult for them to complete their feminine mitzvah. So the in a Jewish marriage, a man fulfills the masculine mitzvot of the same soul, and the woman completes the feminine mitzvot for the same soul. So they are one soul but two halves of the same soul. And it's such a beautiful and profound way of looking at this relationship also, and it gives a lot of importance to the feminine energy in itself, and also the amount of importance that is given to women, in a way that the life actually happens inside of women. And when the Jewish theology says that you have to be born to a Jewish mother to be a Jew, to become a Jew, or to be a Jew, or it actually stresses that importance, that, Hashem is in partnership with the woman in a way that creation happens inside women and not men. So it's not like saying that men are not important. Of course, men have their role, and they are also very important. But the closeness and the holiness in women is much more eminent and present. Men have to work their way out through actions to affect the world, to affect the woman in a positive way, to get this closeness with Hashem. And it is said in the Jewish tradition, and I heard it in Muslim Church Conference from a Jewish woman from Israel. She said that it is obligated for the Jewish communities to have a mikvah before building a synagogue. So if the Jewish community, that, and I'm talking in the Orthodox sense, in Orthodox Jewish communities, if the communal funds are limited, and a rabbi or a bad din or a community leader has an issue that with the limited funds, either he can build a mikvah or he can build a synagogue, they would definitely opt to build the mikvah first, and then after a mikvah they can build the synagogue. So this shows the importance and the primary role that Judaism puts upon women, and they are very, very crucial and integral part of the Jewish identity and the Jewish theology. So I just wanted to share that. I hope it is of importance and you like the video. Thank you very much.